Marvel Snap has shared that at the end of January, we'll be getting our first group of series downgrades in Marvel Snap. A number of cards will be moving from series 5 to 4 and 4 to 3. If you want more specifics on that, I'm going to link the video I did on that last week rather than rehash all of that here. That video and other discussion around this topic, though, has spawned a couple of questions that I wanted to cover here today, as well as give a suggestion on how I will be approaching the series downgrade with my own account. The biggest question people have been asking me is, Jeff, if I pin one of these cards that is scheduled to downgrade in my token shop, will the cost be adjusted of the card that I have pinned when that card moves down series? Ben Brode has confirmed for us that this will be the case, meaning if you have a series 5 card pinned in your shop and it is then downgraded to series 4 while you have it pinned, it will then have the series 4 cost of 3,000 tokens instead of the 6,000 tokens that it had when you pinned it while it was a series 5 card. The next common question regarding the downgrades that I've been getting has to do with your reserves in Marvel Snap, especially from endgame players who are currently Series 3 complete. For those not familiar, when you own every Series 3 card in Marvel Snap, you start acquiring collector tokens at a faster rate. But if you are missing some of these Series 4 cards will be downgrading to 3, that means you will temporarily no longer be Series 3 complete. For a refresher on how reserves work, all of your reserves in Marvel Snaps are broken up in groups of 4. In this group of 4 reserves, you have a reserve that contains 100 collector tokens. You have a reserve that contains currency, either gold or credits. You have a reserve that contains some type of cosmetic, either a variant, an avatar, or a title. And finally, you have a card reserve that is either a series 3, 4, or 5 card. The way that last reserve works is when you would go to open a series 3 card, the game goes, is there a series 3 card to give you? If yes, give you one that you're missing at random. If no, the account is series 3 complete. It instead gives you between 2 or 600 collector tokens at random. What this means is if you have series 4 cards that you're missing that are downgrading to series 3, it means you're going to have to open through those in your groupings of 4 reserves, just like when you were becoming series 3 complete previously, meaning you will not get those increased collectors or tokens again until you are once again series 3 complete. Just as when you were becoming Series 3 complete earlier, though, you will still get those 100 collector's tokens reserves that never stop happening, regardless of which series cards you have collected. That brings me to my final point of something you could possibly consider doing depending on where you're at in your Marvel Snap collection process, and that is waiting to open your collector's reserves that you've earned until the series downgrades happen at the end of the month. In my personal situation, for example, I am missing Super Skrull as the only Series 5 card that's downgrading to Series 4, and if I start holding my reserves now, when Super Skrull downgrades at the end of the month, I should have enough reserves saved up that when I open them all at the same time, they should have a guarantee to have at least one Series 4 card in them, and with Super Skrull will be the only Series 4 card I am missing at that point, I am guaranteed to open it. If I were to open all of my collector's reserves as I went, when I hit what would be that Series 4 card while I am currently Series 4 complete, it would simply be replaced by collector tokens. This means, similarly, if you are someone who is Series 3 complete or almost there, it could make sense for you to start holding your collector's reserves now so you can prioritize getting all of those cards that are dropping to Series 3 right away when they drop at the end of the month. Even if you're not Series 3 complete all the way, but the number of Series 3 cards you have left aren't particularly powerful ones or ones you're interested in playing, it makes sense, I think, for you to wait on opening those reserves until these other more powerful cards have dropped from 4 to 3, since all of the Series 4 downgrades that are happening this month are quite fantastic, honestly. For clarity's sake, when I talk about holding reserves, you can do this in 2 different ways. You can simply save up a bunch of credits up to that 10,000 credit limit, but you can also spend those credits upgrading your cards and simply leave your reserves unclaimed along the collection track. There have been some confusion back and forth with the Marvel Snap team, but it has been confirmed that in the current Marvel Snap patch, the contents of your reserves is not determined until you actually open them, not when you simply roll past them on the track. This means if you leave those reserves unclaimed, they will have a chance to have these newly downgraded cards in them once they get downgraded at the end of the month. Hopefully today's video gave you some clarity in how this downgrade process is going to work as we head into the first of what's going to be monthly card downgrades between series, and how you should consider holding or spending your resources as these come up at the end of every month. As always, I appreciate everybody that watched all the way through to the end of the video. Remember, if you learned anything or enjoyed my insights, tap that like button to help this video reach more people. If you happen to be new to the channel, consider subscribing. I post Marvel Snap tidbits like this, as well as deck highlights here 7 days a week, and I'd love to see you back again. Happy snapping, folks. We'll see you out there in the Savage Lands.